Well, here we all are. It's a very strange situation, of course. We're in lockdown, but that doesn't mean that we're not thinking and talking about Leeds United Football Club. And I'm absolutely delighted to say that we've got Patrick Bamford to do just that with us now, because there's so much going on at the moment. Lives appear to be on hold, but behind the scenes, I know there's so many Leeds United fans now desperate to get a sense that at some point in the not too distant future, we might all be back watching games again. And I would imagine there's that same frustration and impatience amongst the players as well. Would that be right, Pat?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously to start with, when we first went under lockdown, there was a lot of uncertainty, so no one really knew what was going to happen. So that was like, kind of everyone was like, is the league going to finish? What's going to happen? Or when's it going to start? Is it going to start again? I think now that we've kind of got a date to aim for in terms of when we can go back training is positive, because the work we're doing at home is hard if you're working to something but you don't know what date you're working towards. So now we've got an actual target in mind, and we can carry on with the program we're doing and hopefully get back playing as soon as possible.
Oh, come on. You're getting up in the morning, you've got your joggers on, you've got your old T-shirt. You're just having to lie in, surely. Is that not the brief?
No, do you know what? I actually I prefer to get up. I've been trying to get up the same kind of time as I would for training, so get up around 8ish and then get my stuff done straight away. So try and have everything, all the running and the gym and everything done by 10:30, because then I've done it in the morning, and I feel like I've had like a bit of a kind of positive start to the day. Whereas if I wake up late and I just feel like a bit lazy and lethargic and no motivation. So I feel like by getting up early and getting it done, it actually makes it easier in the long term.
And presumably you're having to feed all the findings and the recordings of this sort of, the data's got to go back to somebody, has it? So somebody's monitoring you currently.
Yeah, so first thing I do when I wake up is go straight to the bathroom and got to weigh myself. And
we don't need to leave. Oh, sorry, carry on. Yeah, go on.
Weigh myself, take a picture, send that in. Then obviously we've all that's download the Adidas running app, which just tracks like your distance and your time you do it, and it shows where you've been running on your phone. So everything's monitored, and it all gets sent back as soon as you finish what you've done. You send it in, then we get the program for the next day the night before. So it's just constant. Really.
In terms of your fitness though, Patrick, how's it kind of compared to like a regular season where you have like the off-season break? Where would you say your fitness levels are kind of at? Because there's only so much kind of running fitness drills you can do on your own. It doesn't replicate the training day to day what would normally be throughout a season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's not the same. I don't think that we won't have the same level of sharpness immediately from what we're doing, but I'd say from doing this, the runs we're doing are generally similar to what we would be doing as if it was a pre-season kind of camp. So they're tough runs, and we are trying to like implement like change direction, acceleration, deceleration, that kind of stuff. So I think levels of fitness, we'll kind of keep a base level. That won't be too much of a problem. It'll just be then getting your eye back in and getting the sharpness back.
Is it easy for you, Pat, with your huge garden to be able to do stuff like this?
I mean, you'd have thought so, except from it's on a big incline, and we've had a massive breakout of moles. So the moles are actually doing my head in. But I've been running around on the road anyway, just because it's so uneven. It's more of a field out the back after you get off the lawn. So yeah, I've been running around the roads and stuff. So it's all right.
How's the hair coming up? I mean, I've had this problem. The barnet's getting going.
Well, Michaela cut it about a week ago, and it didn't go quite to plan. But we thought, why not? I mean, it was her first attempt at doing it, so it wasn't terrible.
What about you, Ben? Yours is looking quite neat.
To be fair, mate, technology can cover quite a lot of problems up. So I'm doing all right. But what you're missing, Pat, about most of all this, what's going on now?
I feel like obviously it's easy to say just missing like kicking a ball around and actually playing football, but I feel like there's a lot of like it's social interaction. I feel like everyone's doing their bit in terms of kind of using the apps like Zoom, FaceTime, that kind of thing. I mean, last night Michaela, she'd organised from a couple of days ago like a pub quiz last night at 8 o'clock. So we had Calvin, his missus, Luke Ayling, his missus, Coops, his missus, Barry and his missus, Ben, his missus, Stewie Dallas and his missus, and then like family and friends as well, like from home. We had a massive pub quiz. There was about 30 people on it. And so he was doing that for 2 hours last night. So I think trying to keep the social interaction is important, because that's something that you miss out on, but I don't think you realise until you have it back.
Pat, you've got a lot of players in the squad who are a long way from home. Some
Yeah.
young guys who are maybe worried about what's happening at home. Is there an effort going on as well to keep them in the group, if you like, to keep talking, to keep having those conversations that you suggest there?
I think, yeah, the WhatsApp groups, every day there's been messages fired into it. I feel in general everyone's doing all right, to be honest. A lot of the people, a lot of the boys have kids. I mean, obviously JK is I think he's in a hotel. Well, he was before the lockdown because he didn't have a place to live. So I imagine it's quite hard for him being away from his family and here. I suppose it's the same for a few of the lads. But in general, everyone's doing fine.
What, in terms of the assistance that you've been asked to give by the club, there was obviously a dialogue went on between the playing staff and the football club, and you must have identified collectively that there was something that you could do to help. Would that be right?
Yeah, I think basically the senior figures at the club, they obviously had a meeting amongst themselves about what could they do best to kind of help the football club going forward. And I think that because no one really knew at that stage how long this kind of layoff was going to be, it was important for us to give a little bit, I don't want to say give a little bit back almost, in order to preserve like longevity of the club, because obviously running a football club is a big business and it can easily go wrong, as you've seen many times in the past, without a pandemic, let alone with it. So yeah, I think the boys came together and we made it just the best of not just like the playing staff, the coaches and people involved. I think it was for the club as a whole. Everyone came together and made the right decision.
Is that a decision that makes you kind of proud? Because we were kind of one of the first clubs to kind of defer part of the wages. So to be a part of that as a player at the forefront, is that something that makes you proud?
Yeah, I think it's something that everyone, all the boys should hold their heads high about, because as I said, it's something that we probably had to do in order to preserve the longevity of the club. So I think it was a brave decision. I mean, obviously, a lot of the lads, everyone lives their life differently, so everyone will be in different circumstances. So I think that the fact that everyone, every person of the team managed to agree to this and it not be a problem, I think is a great feat.
So go on then, Pat. I think everyone's striving for positivity, for signs of something beyond at the moment, aren't they? Yeah. So what dates are you looking towards currently then?
So from what obviously the letter the EFL put out, it said that the earliest we'd be allowed back in training is the 16th of May. So for me, head to that date. I think that gear everything up to be back in on the 16th, and then obviously depending on what happens throughout the world and with the virus and stuff, it could get extended, it could change. But I think now that we've been given a date, head towards it and then deal with whatever happens as we get closer to the time.
Are you anticipating playing in empty stadia currently?
Yeah, I think so. I think that in terms of like safety and the general health of the population, I think probably playing behind closed doors is what's going to happen. It's going to be weird. It's probably not ideal for the fans, and it would probably be quite strange to get promoted if we did in front of an empty stadium. So that would be weird, but I feel like in the long term, we're still getting promoted and we're also kind of keeping the population safe. So there's going to be discussions about that, I'm sure, but I'm sure they'll make the right decision.
Are you very much eye on the prize still then? Have you been able to keep that focus? Because you were so close to the end of the season and on that basis, top of the table and 7 points clear, so close to achieving what you wanted to achieve. Have you still got that focus? Is it still there?
Yeah, of course. I mean, once I feel like it will become a lot more clearer, like become more of a reality when we get back playing. Obviously, you've got to kind of keep thinking about it, keep visualizing stuff, and stay focused, even though it seems like a long way off.
I suppose that makes you get out for those runs, makes you get up and weigh yourself and do all the hard graft, because, like I said, it was so close. No, I know 9 games, there's still a lot can happen, but it's like drive and determination that'll make you go out and keep the fitness levels high, surely.
Yeah, exactly. I think that you've got to have a purpose for doing anything, and I think that getting up early in the morning, doing your exercise, knowing that you've got to be at as high a level of fitness as you can be when we do go back. I think that's something that keeps pushing me on anyway, certainly.
There's a weird bubble exists around football, Pat, that quite often we all get kind of caught up in the midst of. Do you think this has given players a little bit of a vision on beyond the bubble? You know, you've had to involve yourself in this in a very different way. I
think, yeah, not just the players, to be honest. I think that fans will start to realise as well that there is more to life than just football. As much as everyone loves football and as much as it plays a big part in a lot of people's lives, I think this whole kind of scenario and the virus doing what it has done to the world, I feel like it's made people realise that there's other things that they need to rely on other than sport, and I think it's probably going to end up bringing people closer together as a population. Well, hopefully, anyway.
And when you see those NHS staff, I mean, you guys are venerated when you play well and you're castigated when you don't play well. But when you see people literally almost going into war, knowing they go to work every day, putting themselves at risk, that does give another perspective in terms of, I don't know, the value of it all in a way, doesn't it? The importance of it all.
Yeah, it does. And one of my best friends I went to school with, he's a doctor, and he's had to be relocated onto specific coronavirus wards. So I've seen it pretty much firsthand as well, what the situation is. So it makes me, I'm proud of him, but proud of obviously everyone. It was actually quite fascinating that the amount of people you can hear getting out at the certain times to clap and just show their appreciation, really. So it's nice.
So what's the plan for the rest of the day then, Pat?
To be honest, today I think I'm going to wash the cars.
Did you hear that, Ben? The cars.
Hey, and there's some nice cars there as well.
I've got to do it because the weather's nice. So.
I've yet to lay all the staff off, Pat.
Yeah, they've been sent home for a few weeks.
Pat, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great to see you smiling. Great to hear from you, and keep focused. And hopefully it won't be too long before we see you all back. Ben, lovely to see you as well. We'll be back on that gantry soon, I'm sure, my friend.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, great to see you, Pat and Bryn.
Thanks. Bye-bye.